This is the first, as it were, successful Russian attack on electricity infrastructure in Kiev since the 26th of November. In other waves of attacks, all the missiles that targeted Kyiv were shot down and didn't hit their targets. The last one was just 2 days ago when there were 13 drones shot down over Kiev and the surrounding region. This time it was missiles, and at least 3 areas in which there are major power stations are reported to have suffered hits, and there are emergency blackouts all over the capital. The mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, is also saying that it's highly likely that in some areas the water supply will be cut, and appealed to people to run baths to fill up with water for use in emergency situations if the water supply is cut. In my area, there doesn't seem to have been an emergency power cut. The rolling blackouts are still going on according to the schedule, but I think it very much depends where you are and which power station you depend on, because it certainly does seem as though some elements of the electricity infrastructure were hit this morning. We heard several explosions from here in the centre of Kiev. As always, though, it's quite hard to know whether what you're hearing is the sound of a missile hitting its target or the sound of the surface-to-air missiles being fired by the Ukrainian defence systems.
Mm-hmm. Now, Gulliver, this was a wide-ranging strike. I mean, we've heard reports in the north, south, east, knocking out power access. What else do we know about the rest of the nation right now?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the authorities in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, are saying that the whole city is without power. The whole of Kyiv region, the region of which Kropivnitsky is the capital, in the center of the country, apparently that whole region is without power. And hits have also been reported to the west of Kiev in Zhytomyr region. That's about 2 hours drive to the west of here. So it's a pretty massive strike, not the biggest that the Russians have launched against Ukraine's electricity infrastructure since this campaign of attacks began, because, as I think you mentioned, the spokesman for the Air Force, Yuri Ignat, said that it was 60 long-range rockets that were fired this morning, but it looks to have been the most successful one in a while. It's also had an effect on Ukraine's train system, which is normally so proud of being so little affected by these attacks targeting the electricity infrastructure. But this morning, apparently nearly 20 trains are running with delays of more than an hour. In the Kiev railway station and other railway stations, they are also using those stations as shelters for passengers, distributing free tea, coffee and biscuits to people who are waiting for their trains in the underground passages there. Because the air alert has not yet been cancelled across Ukraine, people are still being advised to take shelter.